Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first and exciting own channel now. Ooh, I get to be a YouTuber. I'm starting to feel like, oh my gosh, we're getting archived here on my own weekly show. So anyway, we want to welcome to the Karen Ann McDonald, or the CAM network here on YouTube, and also to my new radio show, which is being held at Dark City Radio. I want to thank you to Paul Hayden and Sarah and Martin and the rest of the crew there. And that's Dark City Radio at Freedom Living Now, Sundays 11 o'clock in the morning till noon, and that is on Pacific time on the West Coast here. Anyway, we'll be coming to you live, and that will be out of what we call Silverton in the gorgeous Kootenai Mountains. We're nestled in between the Rocky Mountains and the West Coast, which is far enough away with all the stuff going on these days. And we're roughly about an hour and a half. We're north of the Nelson Q552 base, or roughly about 4 hours north of Portland and Spokane, as we just fly up here. Anyway, welcome again. I'm known as Karen Ann. On my mother's side, it was actually Zachuk, or also Lusix, and on my father's side was Baron, McKenzie, and McDonald's. And that's all lowercase, by the way, for those of you that get the drift here tonight. Anyway, I've been asked repeatedly and repeatedly. There's been now movies put out, there's been some music put out about what I've been doing, and a lot of people have heard about what I've been doing. The woman that's off the grid, off commerce, she gifts, she stands up in courts for children, no taxation, that sort of thing. Protecting the lands, protecting the watersheds here, it's huge. That's what cosmic activation is, and that's what we do. We stand in our truth, we stand in the original laws of peace, and we have to actually learn, as each individual comes to learn themselves, who they are, where they come off of, the rights, the freedoms that affords them. And part of that is no intercoursing into commerce. And I'm going to explain that and why that's the great law of peace that exists still to this day and is still lived in practice by numerous people. And when you're in what we call the first world, it actually, as a clan mother and a woman of the clan, off the white bear tribal, that my original seeds come off the creator, and through the systems of what you know, star seeds or star nations is what a lot of the tribal indigenous people know it as. That's part of the Hopi Mayan prophecies as well. But out here, I arrived in the what you call Shwetmak nations, in the Kamloops, and I do not recognize the British Columbia Authority, nor do I recognize the, we'll say, commerce or corporation known as Canada, or into the other things that were previously run by what was known as the Crown Corporations that was spearheaded. Nor do I recognize the illegitimate authority of one that usurped a lot of the different lands, and through different contracts, rapes, pillagings, and murders of innocent people and children, otherwise known as Elizabeth, basically Battenberg, otherwise known as Windsor, and all her heirs, descendants as well from that draconian line. Now, when you go back into a lot of this stuff, this goes way back, so we're talking way prior to the original colonies. And so this is what we have to do, is we have to start as women and as men going back and looking at different things. So if you see what I've set up here onto my Facebook site, and you can certainly go to that. There's two particular sites I have on Facebook, because we have so many different people that we're in contact with these days. One is Karen Ann McDonald here, the other one is Karen McDonald. So if you get to either one, I'll actually be able to move you appropriately into whichever page we still have room on. Now, if you go into here, what you're seeing on the very far left is actually a seal that was gifted to me, and that particular seal is recognized to this day as also the clan mother, or great cam seal, which goes back to what people have heard of the camel's eye. It's easier to go to heaven than through a camel. But that's the Kamatic thing. That was a special language that was done and is recognized, and this goes back to Sir Wallace Budge. That's what he was knighted for, I was knowing this. And this particular language was indicative of clan mothers and taught to us and our ancestors. That's also part of why I hold that I was still gifted to this day. This is actually a little white bear. It's like the full star. up to Vega in the Lyra constellation, Alpha, Lyra, and Epsilon. It's known as the Trinity. For those indigenous people and friends of ours that still think this is Turtle Island, it's because it looks like a turtle's back, actually, up in that particular constellation between the Lyra, or like the harp, on there, David's harp. So anyway, this goes back a long way when we start tracing our lineage and our inheritance and what we're able to do. The next one that you're seeing there is we actually have what you call coat of arms, crests, and flags. The flag that I have for my particular nation and for myself is actually, it's a vertical flag, so it's actually all those things running actually in a vertical line. So it's very, very important. It's been a while. Usually I do a lot of videos and stuff like that while we were in Saskatoon last year for a while, and for the alchemy event. These are different again. You're seeing flashes on the screen here. This is a Lusic one in the blues, and that's back to the luck of the Irish. And you're seeing the Zacek, and also we have MacDonald as well back in there. So do take a look at your crest of arms. These are unpetitioned, as you can see, on the matrilineal line. And again, what you're seeing here are copies now that I've sent forward. Basically, as I said, it was very important when I arrived in Kamloops. These are a set of documents and commands and arrest warrants and stuff that I've set forth so that Elizabeth and her entourage, responsible for the killing of innocent children, and over 100 million people have been killed, raped, pillaged. There's nothing to celebrate about Thanksgiving or any other Friday, black or otherwise, when people are enslaved. I grew up actually in the prairies in Saskatoon. I spent a lot of time with the indigenous peoples and the tribal peoples there, and I'm very grateful to the lessons and to the teepee and to the lodge teachings I was taught, and they preserved for me as well as they have in this area. And I'm grateful to Marilyn James and the other people here on the Scio nations, and of course to Karen and Moon and those in my own tribal nations and the Shwet'mak nations here. So it's very, very important that we know where we come off of, and it's very important that you know where you're going to. So this is part of what we do. These are also proclamation seals that have been set forth into hand delivered by Lucas Andrew Monday Wing, and he took them forth into the Postmaster General to Paul. And so these things are sealed appropriately according to what we have to do. The last one that we did in September of 2014 was also, as I had put my proclamations up and hand delivered and notified everyone about the proclamation and reclamation of lands that I was doing up at Halcyon, otherwise known as Coyote Hot Springs, in that area, and other particular ones that were formerly Crown that were left into our title. That's what we did. And in September I made a resolving decision that we start learning how everyone has to come into peace. And it wasn't just me and being no commerce, that this was to be throughout the rest of the nation as well, and the rest of the people of our lineage, and that we could be the examples that we need to be on this land. Again, protecting the land, becoming in touch with gardeners, heritage heirloom seeds, protecting the waters. I'm on one of the few watersheds that we still have here, by the way. And the watersheds here are Roseberry, and we have very few springs. And I'm very grateful to the people that say here that you see, like David Wolfe, and the different people that are the super raw foodists, longevity technicians as well, like myself, that relentlessly and tirelessly go out and educate the people still. We have our own gardens. We do Ormus, we do alchemy, we are gifting, and a lot of people have to come to that realization that this is where we're moving to the transition of the pole shift, and that's adhering to the original peace laws that we agreed to and everyone agreed to play on this planet with. And so I'm very happy to lead that and be the forefront of it. And it really is easy. You can look at Mark Boyle or other different people and how they've done it as well. And it's very easy. There's people that have lived for a lot longer than whatever, like 15 years, or look at any third world country. Those people have lived without cash, and they've just thrived just beautifully till people have come over trying to colonize them. And I would know this as a colon hydrotherapist, actually. My background was in nursing. It was in interior decorating, And again, a little bit of stuff too. We did some modeling for a while. A lot of sports and stuff as I grew up in Saskatoon. And my career was in about 15 years of neonatal intensive care, working with premature and ill infants in the intensive care setting. So then I moved on after having my 2 children, and slowly that wound down, and basically went into what you know is quantum or natural medicine and holistics. After our eyes were opened and did an aha moment, then it was learning everything to be self-sustaining. So I did run actually several medical centers, and we're involved in them from between Victoria to Saskatoon. And we did everything. We had free community lending libraries, all sorts of things. So I want people to start Googling this and start looking where they can start. I want to give you just a little bit of time to get a pen and a pencil right now, giving you the heads up, because I'm going to give you the websites. And this is available now to people to do their own education. You don't get handed this. Everyone's going to have to basically do their own research. What I did is we scanned it, we put it on videotape for everyone to get. You can go to YouTube and start looking at Meredith Quinn, Tribal Laws. And there's about a 9-part series where you can listen to him before he passed away on those books. And the books I've got, actually Lucas had as well too. At one point did some stuff with me, no longer is, but The Great Matriarch by Agnes Strikehead, and again on the back by Meredith Quinn. There are many things in here to do with the pole shift that is tribal and education, things that people have to do, learn the basics of quantum medicines, quantum laws, all sorts of things that have been considered to be hidden or elite and away from the general population. You will see everything in here to do with the original 13 klanmothers, the original 1320, all sorts of things that need to be studied, the whole astrotheology, everything in here that people have been missing. And of course, a very important part as well is what was gifted to me too, was from the Dakota Proclamation, from which these people were actually the witnesses to. And so this is in stone. And so that's what the obelisks represent as well. Is it the Cleopatra? And my lineage as well. You'll learn there were 13 different ones. I'm one of the white ones. That was called off basically the Anglo nations into the Cleopatra tribes and stuff as well. And so our lineage comes a long way back, and we're grateful to have that Noah's Ark Treaty, and some people call it the Eye of Isis and Camel's Eye and a lot of different things, maybe wampum belts or peace pipe. And so we have that pipestone for a reason. Myself, I'm basically moving towards and transitioning, which I have at times, towards being a breatharian and solarian. And I'm very big into advocating into what Dr. Gabriel Cousins has done now, and a lot of different people. So if you're not familiar with some of their particular teachings and stuff, you can look at Rainbow Cuisine, and also he's at the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center and Spiritual Nutrition. The other one that's amazing is David Wolfe, and David Wolfe's Sun Food Success books. He's also the author of many different things, also being one called Shaga, Naked Chocolates. We all do lots of raw foods, and I mean, they are great. We have the best, apple pies and stuff. Superfoods is very important in these times. I'm also a vegan, so I do a lot of things other than doing honey and things like that, because we do have things we can grow in this area like stevia. We have birch trees and xylotols, and we have our own stills and stuff here that we have for essential oils. Also doing the different things like naked chocolate, raw cacao, and the other thing I'm going to talk very much about will be colon hydrotherapy is my background, radionics is my background, Tesla. Biofeedback is a huge thing to do with scalar waves, 0-point technology, and using actually pulse signals, kind of like a good version of a smart meter if you can, or a magnetic thing, and healing ourselves through this technology. Free energy technology is also to do with cold electricity and magnetics and coming off the grid, so that you don't have any bills any further. As well with the oils, I'll talk a lot about. That's to me the biggest superfood, that and raw cacao. But the essential oils, I was trained primarily, I mentored and met with Dr. Gary Young from Young Living Essential Oils, and also the crew that now started doTERRA as well, and Dr. Ravi Rattan from the, and Dr. David Stewart, also the Center for Aromatherapy and Education. So I want you to get your pens and pencils. You can get a hold of me at Karen Ann McDonald, klanmother13@gmail, which is with the K. The other thing as well, Dark City Radio is available. And on Skype, I'm still available. I do sessions for people one-on-one and do readings and scans, so you can see all the different 9,000 things going on.